It's not a code I follow at all, but there's a huge degree of interest in New Zealand to see a competitive Australian rules match here in the capital.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see, won't it? You know, a different code, not a code we see much of live in New Zealand, but having done a little bit of work in the past with one of the AFL teams, I can tell you the players are very, very, very good athletes, train incredibly hard, and they've got some pretty cool skills.
It's not bad either in the Hyundai A-League, is it? And just a little too heavy on the through ball. Looking to free up Paul Eiffel. So I think the critics would agree that the odd match aside, you're always going to have a team or two that struggle. We know Sydney struggled through the first part of the season. They're starting to get into their stride. Now the Phoenix are going through an issue or two, but overall the quality of this Hyundai A-League campaign. Del Piero, what a star he was last week. Talked about Heskey here, Shinji Ono, Marco Rojas. There really are some players performing at the very highest level. Here's Lockheed now as he got the pace. The veteran fullback. He's into the area. Done well, Lockheed. Still done really well. Now he needs support. Still there, Lockheed. Eiffel. Can he measure the shot? And eventually it peters out. But Tony Lockheed seemed to have, if anything, too much time on his hands right in the heart of that Newcastle penalty area.
Did really well, Tony Lockheed. Got forward, opened up some space, went past the defender, and then at that moment took one touch too many. But good positive run. We've seen that in recent weeks. The Phoenix not afraid to throw their fullbacks forward. Lockheed on one side, Burdos on the other, and on that occasion Tony Lockheed got in a very, very good position, but again the Phoenix just couldn't capitalise on it. And I think this first 10 minutes of the second half will be hugely important for the rest of the Phoenix's season. If they can weather the storm that you'd expect to come from Newcastle the first 10 or 15 minutes, then maybe they will start to turn things around.
Here's Brillante for the give and go, but a lovely turn from Heskey. Immediately brings a wide player into the game.
It was a lovely turn from Heskey, wasn't it? Just dropped the right shoulder and then spun to his left, and left Ben Sigmund clutching at straws.
Away by Durante. And at the second time of asking, Sanchez, Boyd. Bertos there. It was a case of just get anything in the way in front of Emile Heskey. Hockey's pressure enough to win the throw. Lockheed.
Good. Stay right.
Fenton. Bertos. Handy ball from Bertos. Away though by Regan. This time Sigmund doesn't fall for the dummy as he set Paul Eiffel away. Two at the far post. Eiffel across Brocky. Well, that was a little snapshot of how brilliant the Phoenix can be.
A timely intervention by Ben Sigmund. First time ball from Eiffel. And just bobbles across the face of goal over the foot of Jeremy Brocky. I think important for this first part of the second half, the Phoenix try and control the tempo of the game, try and keep the possession and dictate the terms of the game. They're doing quite well at the moment in that regard. Just have to make sure they don't let Newcastle back in the game. Don't let them start to create pressure.
Boyd. Space now for Lockheed. Durante stayed forward. Lockheed goes far post. Now Brocky. It's worked out okay for the Phoenix. Oh. Well, somehow they've kept possession at the Wellington Phoenix. As we see the first change being made by Gary Van Egmond, so he's seen enough. 8 minutes played in the second half, and James Virgili is going to get out there. So Craig Goodwin not able to impose himself on this match. Virgili with 31 games in the Hyundai A-League. He's yet to score his first goal. He's also just walking a little tightrope in this one. He's sitting on 4 yellow cards. Sanchez crashes that one at Boyd. And Boyd goes down, and Ben Williams says this was just outside the area, and he's sent off. Second yellow card. Well, Fred, you called it earlier that young Sam Galloway had to be very careful, and talk about a tightrope. He's just come crashing down.
Yep. Couldn't last the game. Galloway, too quick. Feet too quick here by Tyler Boyd. Right on the edge of the box. And Galloway can't restrain himself. Upends the Phoenix attacker and then takes the long walk to get an early shower.
Yeah, and it's a long walk right through the heart of the yellow fever. So it's a bit of a trudge, isn't it, for young Sam Galloway, just 20 years of age. And he's got brighter days ahead, that's for sure, but he gets a little send-off from the home fans. And we talked about red cards. What is it about this round 18 in the Hyundai A-League? Here's another. Tell you what, there's a long way to go in this yet, but I reckon Robbie Middleby, the CEO at Newcastle, next year they might just save on airfares and not come to Wellington. Rifle against the wall and then shoots wide. Really is a crazy matchup. You almost ignore form going into this fixture, don't you, Fred? The two sides. It doesn't matter who's playing brilliantly. It doesn't matter who's playing poorly. The Phoenix just have the wood on Newcastle, especially here in Wellington.
Yeah, Newcastle just can't win a trick here, can they? And in this afternoon's fixture now for the Phoenix, it's a time to be ruthless. It's a time to be clinical.
It's also a time to maintain your concentration. Heskey does enough to win the free kick, the big number 9. 17 matches played between these two sides. Wellington has won 12, Newcastle just 4, only the one draw in those 17 matches.
Yeah, just a case of play for 90 minutes and then give the Phoenix the points, isn't it?
If only it were that easy for any side in this competition. Wheelhouse drives it across. Lovely work by Manny Muscat. Bertos. It is a real coach killer though, isn't it? As the offside flag is shown against Brocky yet again. Just 9 or 10 minutes prior, Van Egmont's done his best in the dressing room to inspire his side. He'll have made some changes, and suddenly the impetuosity there of youth, just as you said, Fred, he couldn't resist, could he, Galloway?
No, he saw the ball there, didn't he? Just stuck the leg out or went to make the tackle, and Tyler Boyd showed what quick feet he does have. And then you're down to 10 men, really are facing an uphill battle.
Heskey has turned Sigmund again. Too much on the through ball.
Be interesting to see how Newcastle approach the final half an hour with 10 men, because prior to that they had been playing for a 4-2-3-1 formation, so that'll probably go to a 4-2-2 formation, 2-1 formation. Just take out the attacking midfielder, but they've been really, they have pushed a lot of players forward. They've played with 4 up front at a lot of occasions this afternoon. Yet to turn that to good effect. And now they have to work very, very hard to try and get something out of this game.
Looks as though he's just dropped back into it's more of a left-sided defensive role with Galloway's departure. Problem, of course, is just compounded. They're down to 10, but they're trailing 1-0, so they've got to take some risks. They've got to continue to find ways to attack. It's the second or third time Mark Paston's just had a little case of butterfingers. No harm done. Well, and this time it's Fenton who's bundled over. So looking to take that ball on the chest. And Ben Williams did not like the challenge from behind.
First look at this, didn't see much wrong. and two guys going up for the ball. So maybe the slightest of shoves in the back, but Louis Fenton, he's come down very hard on that right shoulder. So this could be a problem for the Phoenix goal scorer.
So just receiving some attention, and they're taking their time about it, because if he has damaged a shoulder, they are notoriously difficult at times to diagnose, let alone heal. Oh, that is really awkward, isn't it, Fred?
He gets upended, doesn't he? And with all his body weight coming down on his shoulder. And he's holding it very, very gingerly as he walks off.
Meanwhile, Jeremy Brockie, he scored 2 at Hunter Stadium in that 3-0 defeat of Newcastle. Of course, Newcastle, one of his many former clubs. He would just love to twist the knife a little here, would Brockie. Round the wall, straight at Birigidi. And Fenton, just at the bottom of our screen there, the number 16 is back on. So good news there for Louis Fenton. Here he is, straight back into the game, and he bundles Heskey away. That was David on Goliath, wasn't it? And he just ran straight into Taylor Regan. Taken quickly. It's Brillante. Ryan Griffiths, 6 goals, 4 assists on the campaign so far. Interestingly, none of those goals at home, so he does enjoy his work on the road, does Griffiths. Like so many Newcastle players, though, Freddie doesn't enjoy a trip to Wellington. He's yet to win against the Phoenix.
There wouldn't be many players in this Newcastle outfit that have won a game in Wellington. Such has been the dominance of the Phoenix at home in this fixture. One thing I would like to see, 25 minutes to go, would be the Phoenix just holding the ball a bit better than they have. Don't be so desperate to go forward with it, because still playing quite a lot of long balls forward, and that's allowing Newcastle to pick up possession and then fashion their own attacks.
Well, Ben Williams has now seen something on the edge of the Phoenix penalty area. I must admit, I was following the flight of the ball, Fred.
I think this one's against Ben Sigmund someone pulling back Emile Heskey, possibly Andrew Durante. Heskey was spinning and trying to get on the end of that ball, and just get held back by the Phoenix defence. You can see there's Andrew Durante there, just holding up the Newcastle striker.
Yeah, well spotted by Williams. It was a sneaky one, wasn't it? He's a little lucky not to get a yellow card, is Durante. This is real danger time, though. Right out in front of Mark Paston's goal. Brown wide. Well, had it hit the target, it was goal bound, because Paston had no chance from that distance.
I don't think Mark Paston moved. Just watch this one go past. That was a good free kick, wasn't it? Showed one in the first half. This one's just the wrong side of the post. But he's got a lovely flight on his free kicks, says James Brown. But again, that's a function of the Phoenix not controlling possession of the ball. And against 10 men, this game should be being played almost exclusively in the Newcastle half of the field or around halfway. But as it stands, possession's pretty even, or still favouring Newcastle. And a lot of the game is being played in the Phoenix half of the pitch.
Tinan Caravella transferred during the week from Adelaide, so he may be an option for Van Egmond. And it's a busy time in the transfer window, isn't it, Fred? Because there's Isaka Cernak, signed from the Victory by Wellington during the week.
Yes, Cernak signed to give another option in the middle of midfield, more of an attacking option for Ricky Herbert. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets some game time this afternoon, and if he does, whether he can add some attacking flair for this Phoenix outfit.
Well, the game really has just gone into a lull since the sending off. It's not the Phoenix dominating. Here they are, though, Vertos. And that makes its way somehow through 3 or 4 players in that Newcastle penalty area. Sanchez. Fenton. Sigmund's turn to just send Emile Heskey in the wrong direction. Durante. Heskey pinching the ball away from Durante. And here's a chance now for Newcastle. They're just momentarily 3-on-3. Griffiths. And eventually too many defenders back, and now it might fall for Eiffel on the break. Hasn't quite got the pace. And what has been a very injury-interrupted campaign, Paul Eiffel. Onto the right foot. Hasn't got the accuracy either on the shot.
Well, took it unto himself, didn't he, Paul Eiffel? He almost got the sense as he crossed the halfway line that he was going to do it himself. Checks back inside, opens up some good angles. There's 3 in the box waiting for a cross. Not the greatest shot that we've seen ever from Paul Eiffel.
So I wonder if Paul Eiffel may not be much longer for this game.
I think you're right, Andrew. He seems to be blowing a bit just now. And Ricky Herbert's up out of his seat looking at his subs. And I think he's talking to Paul Eiffel, asking him how he's feeling. Eiffel will probably give us a couple of minutes, see how I go.
Fenton onside. It's gone very wide. Sanchez at the far post. Can't get it past Taylor Regan. Here is Eiffel. Swings it across. It was handy. And Tyler Boyd couldn't control the header. He started the campaign with ankle and knee problems. Did come back, but then had further injury concerns, Paul Eiffel, and was on the bench last week. Certainly they've got the attacking options to replace Paul Eiffel this afternoon for the final 20 minutes or so. For now, though, rolls a pass for Sanchez. Heskey and Sigmund, it's like a heavyweight stoush. Regan goes direct. And Heskey goes direct to Mark Paston. Well, it goes without saying that when you're beaten 7-1, you'll take any results, any way you can get it the week after. I'm sure the fans would live with that as well, as they've given away another free kick here, so they're putting themselves under pressure. And Tony Lockhead's turn to see yellow. Oh, is it a second? So it is the second for Lockhead. So Tony Lockhead is sent off. Goodness me, that caught me by surprise. So he did receive a yellow in the first half, a second yellow for Tony Lockhead. And for the final 18 minutes, the complexion of this game has changed again. It's 10 on 10.
Well, he's been busy this afternoon, Ben Williams. And Tony Lockhead just sliding in. And I don't think he can have too many complaints that it's a free kick. Goes in with the outside of his left foot, and just as we saw with Sam Galloway, he'd been walking the tightrope and he falls off it, and that's just the impetus or just the break that maybe Newcastle need.
So Griffiths with the free kick. The polite applause in the background is for Lockhead as he departs through the yellow fever. Newcastle given a lifeline. Played across and played back. Mark Paston with a left hand, and it's in. They've equalised. So in the space of 60 seconds, it all turns to custard for the Wellington Phoenix. And it just got worse for Tony Lockhead.
Well, they were looking for a lifeline, and they've got it, haven't they, Newcastle? To the back post, headed back across. Paston parries it in the air, and that is the strength of Emile Heskey. Holds his position. Mark Paston, he's 6'5", Mark Paston. Heskey doesn't get shoved off out of the way, and Heskey just nods it into the goal. And now the Phoenix really do have a fight on their hands to get something out of the game.
Newcastle tails are up. The Wellington Phoenix looking for inspiration, and it may come from the bench and it may come from their midweek signing. Isaka Cernak is ready to make an appearance. How quickly a match can turn. Fenton has put the ball out of play. Not sure what's going on here, Fred. Was it simply for a shoelace, or the substitution can now be made?
Well, if you have to put the ball out for someone to tie their boot up, then football really is going in the wrong direction.
Well, that was just curious whether they were desperate to make the change. Tyler Boyd will be replaced by Isaka Cernak. He's hardly had a moment or two with his teammates. At best, he will have trained with the side yesterday, is my understanding. And here he is, the latest to don the Wellington Phoenix colours. Operating in a fullback role there in the absence of the sent-off Tony Lockhead. And that's great cover by the midfielder. But suddenly the tide has turned here, Fred.
Yeah, Newcastle with their tails up. And the Phoenix, as we said in the first half, they've conceded the goal and suddenly they're looking very nervous, whereas previously they had looked reasonably composed. Now the thoughts are in their head.
Heskey again making a nuisance of himself. Cernak over the top for Brocky. Suddenly every touch, every movement, every pass is a little laboured from the home side. Fenton looks to have recovered okay from that knock to the shoulder. Look at the work rate from Heskey. Fenton. Touch on the pass for Paul Eiffel to control. Sanchez turns. Thought about the shot. Rocky can try and find a target. Across they go! Birighitti just reaching behind him to peel that one back in. That was more promising from the Phoenix.
And great work from Sanchez that time. Credit the keeper as well. Keeps his side in the match.
Brown for Heskey. Newcastle now starting to boss proceedings. Here's Brown. Sigmund pleading his case. This was almost the second goal. Initially very good play by Sanchez and driven across by Brocky.
And Fenton can't get a clean strike on it. Misses with his right foot, hits him on the shin of his left leg. And that allows Birighitti just to smother the ball almost on the goal line.
Wheelhouse given the task here surely of trying to locate Emile Heskey. He's lurking at the far post. That's where he tries to get the ball, and there wasn't a great deal of good management about it, but somehow the Phoenix will escape. There's Bertos. Chased down by Chapman. It's end-to-end stuff, literally. Well, will we see that desperation that Ricky Herbert spoke about during the week? Tell you what we will see is a change. And that's just taken the sting out of the move. Ben Sigmund wasn't impressed. Freddie really just remonstrated with the bench there as if to say, why have we stopped that? We could have waited for the change. Sanchez goes, Tatori gets on there.
I think Ben Sigmund had been signalling to Leo Bertos to whip it in because he'd made a 70-80 metre run to get to the box.
Bertos does whip it in. Durante. It was almost identical, wasn't it? Moments earlier, the Phoenix didn't know much about defending. Newcastle didn't either, but they both escaped. So Tatori's got about 8 minutes plus change to make an impact, and that's about as much time as Zenon Caravella will have. This is his 8th club, Caravella. So he's well travelled. For some reason, you know, he's never quite been able to settle. We'll be hoping for a good final part of this campaign with his new club, Newcastle. Here is Caravella. Well, we just saw a little snapshot there of what makes Caravella such a good player, but also Ben Sigmund. Just the wonderful passing range that Caravella possesses, met by the blunt force of Ben Sigmund. Well, we've only had one draw in 17 matches in the history between these two clubs. I hesitate to put the commentator's curse on this one, Fred, but not sure that either side is quite showing the wherewithal to win this one at the moment.
We've had a couple of chances at both ends, but no real conviction in the finishing at this point. I think given the state of the table, and especially from a Phoenix perspective, the result from last week, would they be happy with 1-1? Not with the position of the situation of the game 15-20 minutes ago. Goal up against 10 men. But the position of the game right now, maybe that would be that view would be different. Can't afford to lose the game though, because I think then their playoff hopes are gone. Even a draw is not a great result, but it sort of keeps them just in the mix, and it stops the rot that they've had with 4 losses on the trot.
Newcastle, of course, looking to consolidate their place in the top 6. Cernak is endearing himself to the fans so far as Cernak. Good work rate. Here's Tatori looking to run at Regan. Caravella. Chapman now. His expectation just a little beyond reality there for Connor Chapman. Well, what has either side got in the final 5 minutes here at Westpac Stadium in Wellington? It's a match that really has not reached any great heights. The frequency of the whistle has played a part in that for sure. Both sides down to 10. 2 yellow cards for Sam Galloway, and not long after, a second yellow card for Tony Lockhead, levelling the ledger.
Also poses an interesting selection dilemma for Ricky Herbert next week. With Tony Lockhead obviously unavailable. And the club recently signing Ian Hogg. So I think odds on for Ian Hogg to make his Phoenix debut.
Wheelhouse. Heskey peeled off that front line to help in midfield. Neville. No coincidence that since Caravella's got out there for Newcastle that they've controlled possession. Not a whole lot of movement for Paul Eiffel. Sigmund now. Searching ball. Does not find Tatori, does find Fenton. And now Tatori pushed wide to the byline and then squares it back, and there wasn't a Phoenix player within 10 metres. Tatori on Neville. Caravella gets across. Tatori stays on his feet and then stops. Well, what's the old adage? You tell your kids, play to the whistle. Almost into stoppage time, and some of that will be used up here with a change. Not the best time to go down with cramp, is it, as the coach makes a change. Close on 6,500 here on a beautiful Sunday afternoon in Wellington. Well, what is happening here? Trying to make the change, Newcastle. And referee Ben Williams is saying stretcher.
You'd think he could make 2 rolls over to the sideline, don't you?
I don't think it's life-threatening. Ben Williams sees the funny side of it, but it really has just taken the sting completely out at the end of this. Regan sees the stretcher approaching, so he says, I'll get up. That's right, there's the sideline.
Mate, you could have saved everyone a bit of bother.
Not sure that Regan was necessarily the player about to be subbed, so we'll see what Van Egmond does with the change. I reckon they might just change it and put 14 up on the board. And whatever Ben Williams says, I don't care who you want to take off, you're not able to. So Eiffel. Newcastle down to 9 for the moment. And that was a tired effort from Paul Eiffel.
Phoenix have to be careful here.
Mark Paston was off his line, but Sigmund was there first. This game really is stretched, but is there any talent? Is there any quality there to try and finish it off? Brocky says that was a foul, Ben Williams. The referee doesn't agree. It's got very scrappy in the closing stages.
Do you think Newcastle are happy with the draw? They've got Emil Heskey playing centre-back.
I think as much because of the cramp for Taylor Regan. Eiffel, oh, he's beaten two of them. Paul Eiffel pushes Caravella aside. Eiffel drives it straight into the midriff of Birighitti, who read it like a book.
Great work again from Paul Eiffel. A nutmeg on one of the Newcastle players. Got in behind the defence. But then Birighitti, as he's done all afternoon, comes up with a good stop. Anticipated the cross. It was hard, it was low, it was driven across by Eiffel, but straight at the keeper.
Well, this is comical now, because now they have put up Taylor Regan's number and he says, I'm okay. He doesn't want to go off. All of this is just chewing up time that surely has to be added now. And Van Egmond is turning to his physio and giving him a serve. So they've just made a change they didn't want to make. So I think some words will be shared between the player, the coach and the physio. Tatori, what can he force from a tight situation? Nothing. Well, we are due to play 3 minutes of added time, but I reckon we might get to 6. Heskey, the centre-back. He wouldn't be bad, you know, Fred, at the heart of a back four, would he?
Well, on today's evidence, you wouldn't push him off the ball, would you?
Swung across. It's a little aimless, though, from Manny Muscat. Over the top, Tatori is offside. Both sides just guilty of being a little lazy at times. They're just not looking after the little things in the game, and classic situation there of stay onside, take that extra step, take that extra yard.
Well, those are the details that get lost in the search for results, isn't it? Those little things, especially when you're near the bottom of the table. And obviously over the coming weeks, it's up to the Phoenix if they want to get themselves up into playoff contention. They really do have to address those little things and a couple of major things as well.
Well, Newcastle are in no hurry. Both sides down to 10. The weather conditions not extreme, but it certainly has been a warm afternoon. And as the visitors, and given that they've only ever won once here in Wellington, you can understand if Newcastle are the happier of the two sides at the moment.
Well, it pushes them up into 5th place at this point. Just one place ahead of the Melbourne Heart. They play Sydney next week. So Sydney obviously not travelling that well at the moment, even though they did beat the Phoenix. 7-1, but I think that would be a game that Newcastle really would target as one where they could pick up some more points.
Sigmund just launches it forward. Here's the problem though at the moment for the Phoenix. And it's all over. It's been scrappy. It's not been pretty. And the fans a little displeased perhaps with some of the decisions taken, and perhaps still with the efforts of their home side. They stopped the rot though, the Wellington Phoenix. Louis Fenton's first half goal